Yay Networks.
Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sybil Amuti, and I can't wait for you to hear all of the Great Girlfriend magic on today's show. So without further ado, grab something great to drink, grab your pen and your paper, and get ready for this week's episode. Enjoy! Happy Wednesday, Great Girlfriends! Happy Wednesday! Hey! My gosh, I'm so excited. Wednesday feels like Freedom Day in my world because I know I am only a step away from the weekend where I can just kick back, relax a little more, and not have to drop off, pick up, wash, wipe, all the stuff, right? All the stuff. So I'm super happy today to have on a new guest who is Crystal Perkins, a manifestation powerhouse, skyrocketing in the space of faith-based entrepreneurship. Crystal, I read her bio and I was like, she sounds like my kind of person. She sounds like an exciting woman who loves to love other women, and she's about the business of seeing us to the other side. So I love the idea that she lives her life as a bridge. So I want to just introduce you a little bit about Crystal and then bring her right in, which I thought this bio was so cool. It says, growing up, Crystal didn't see people who looked like her own a business, operate in their purpose, or manifest true abundance. She decided to become her and help other women do the same. She's a wife, mother, daughter. I sound like a rapper. A wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister, and a much-loved CEO of God and Goals, Inc. She is the new hit author of Mediocrity to Manifestation, 30-Day Devotional, and the Manifestation Planner to go right along with it. She's a 7-figure earner and Christian woman of power. Her brand helps with shifting mediocrity to manifestation and helping women to prioritize and manifest abundant living. Okay, Crystal, I dare you to rap because I just saw you bop when I was rapping. She's a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister.
Hey.
I dare you to drop some bars on the Great Girlfriends.
I can't drop bars, but I can help you manifest.
Okay, I like that. Those are your bars. Your bars.
Yeah.
Crystal, I feel like each one of us is in the middle of the story where we saw not much of what we're seeing now and we became her. And we're still, a lot of people are in that figuring it out stage. Some people are in their full stride and other people are like, wait, maybe I'm not her. I'm not really sure if I belong on the other side of this picture that I'm seeing, right? And so as a coach, I know you catch women at every level and every stage and space. I want to know, what was it about your story? What was it about your experience that made you certain you could become her?
I think for me, a lot of people in the industry, a lot of successful people have a rags to riches story, but for me, I didn't have a rags to riches story. I always had a life of, a middle-class life, a working mom, a working father. But to me, that was still mediocrity. So even after me graduating with the degrees, you get the bachelor's degree and you're all excited, like, oh, I've accomplished something. And then you go on to get the master's degree and feel like, oh, I've accomplished something. And then you get married and you buy your first home. And then for me, this epiphany went off one day. And I was like, you know what? This is really not my definition of success. Yes, I have the degrees. I have the quote unquote dream job, but is this really a dream job? Because I still can barely pay my bills.
That's not dreamy.
Right. I still don't have the overflow that I've spent years praying about. I don't have the abundance that I talk to God about every day and that I go to the altar about every Sunday. So where can I find the other side of this lifestyle? And I just began to open myself up more. I began to take God out of a box. I got out of the routine of religion and said, how can I deepen my relationship with God? And how can I find the God that is able to do exceedingly and abundantly the way that I've been dreaming about? How can I find that God? How can I live that life of abundance that he promised me? And then it was when God gave me the revelation that I had to create it. It wasn't something that was going to magically fall in my lap because I had the vision boards or magically fall in my lap because I wrote the vision, made it plain. And
Right, right.
so God began to show me, after you write the vision, make it plain, after you pray about it, there's this level of execution that a lot of women of faith miss. I decided to embark on that journey.
Okay. Okay. To this level of execution that a lot of women of faith miss. I want to know about that level of execution because, a lot of women are looking at all their stumbling blocks, right? And a lot of our great girlfriends are saying, that's easy for Crystal to say, but, and they're saying, Crystal doesn't know that I have all these kids and responsibilities and I'm doing it, or I'm doing it by myself, or Crystal doesn't know I'm still dealing with student loans, or Crystal doesn't know that I don't have the degree. I don't even feel smart enough. I don't even know where to pick up, And Crystal doesn't know that I'm struggling with jealousy in my heart because I see everyone winning on Instagram and I'm like in a struggle box, right? So there's some listeners that are picking and poking at you right now going, all right, Crystal, talk about this level of execution because I don't even know what that would look like.
Right. I feel like first of all, Crystal knows, because
okay.
a lot of those things that you just, which allows me to be able to serve the women that I'm able to serve. Like I didn't go from, I didn't become a 7-figure manifest queen overnight or a manifestation coach overnight. It has been, a journey for me as well. And Crystal too has been through a variety of different things. I remember when God actually gave me the vision for my first brand. I had lost my job, lost my home. My marriage was a mess. We were in the middle of thinking we were getting a divorce. I had to downsize from the new home that I, thought I was going to live in forever. I had to downsize and go into a tiny apartment. My father died. My grandfather died. So it's like I went through an entire season of losses.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still in that season when God gave me the vision, even though I didn't have the money. I didn't, know how to start. I didn't know where to start because mentorship and coaching, it wasn't a thing when I started in 2014, 2013. Nobody was teaching you how to build a brand. There were no courses. There was no, online Instagram coaches. And although I didn't have all of those things, and although it seems like my back was up against the wall, I did have 2 strategies that will always stick with me, and that was faith and obedience.
Mm-hmm.
That allowed me to elevate my mindset in a place to where I believed even when I didn't see it. I believed even when my bank account was in the negative. I just took the vision that God gave me. I activated my faith and my obedience, and I said, nothing is going to stop me from getting this done.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a level of sacrifice. And that's another level of the part of execution that women miss. I didn't have the money, but I was willing to sacrifice what I did have. So I stopped going to the beauty salon. I stopped getting my nails done. I stopped shopping for 2 years. I stopped eating out so much. And all of the money that I was able to save from those, levels of sacrifice went right into building my brand. And it took me over a year to build it, but it was done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's not that you have to have it all together all the time. It's a matter of how can I elevate my mindset and use what I do have to start.
Mm-hmm. 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 That's so true. It's really good. And it's helpful because I think sometimes so many people feel overburdened before the start and they're like, I can't press start on this, or I can't add something else to my plate. And I found in my own life, Crystal, that part of the reason that vision or in the things that God was showing me became so heavy was because I was carrying so many other things that I wasn't even supposed to be carrying. And the minute I had the courage to, wipe my plate of some other responsibilities and hand them over to other people who were far more qualified actually than I was to do it. Who knew my kids could wash dishes the way they could wash dishes?
Right.
Who knew they could wash clothes, or other people could play these roles? But it wasn't until then that I found I had the room, I had the time, I had the wisdom to start. And then all the sustaining power was in the process.
I talk about in my book, and that's something also that's included in my coaching program, is unlearning the Superwoman mentality. because we give all of our energy to our spouses, our significant others, our children, our careers, the household. And so what we don't realize is we actually have all the time in the world. We just have to break free from that superwoman mentality.
Yeah.
And we have to start giving our mothers, our children, our spouses, giving them some of their own stuff back to carry.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. So I had to tell my husband, I said, I'm going to give you some of your stuff back. I'm after a vision. I'm after a new life that God has for us. So everybody got to start pulling their own weight, because I have to put all of my energy and power into what God has called me to create.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's so funny. I'm having a winning moment this week. I'm going to share with you and great girlfriends. This is a winning moment. Somebody else might be like, that is a crazy moment. But for me, I'm like, I'm over here winning. So my sister and her husband, my brother, are in town, and they were cooking or looking for stuff in the kitchen. And he was asking me, my brother loves to like get involved and help out when he can. And my husband's actually out of town this week. So it's me and the kids, and then my sister and her husband, who's my brother. And so, he was asking me where something was in the kitchen, and I legitimately didn't know, like a cleaning product or something. And then he asked me about what days the garbage trucks come to take the cans out. I was like, I don't know. And it was a few things where he was like asking that I legitimately don't know, nor do I care about, actually.
Right.
And I was so proud of myself.
Listen.
And I told him, I said, Ed, I mind my business. I mind my business. And I've learned in my house that we can all mind our business, and this ecosystem can still flow. I was
Absolutely.
so proud as a mom and so honored that I did not know the things that I used to hover over. And I'm like,
Yes.
I don't know where the bleach is or the garbage. I don't even know. I don't care, because it's not my business, and it's getting done. How about that?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. I love it. So I'm proud of myself. So
You
anyway,
should. That is definitely a win.
I'm winning. I'm winning.
Yes.
I can Google it and find out when the trucks come faster than knowing. I'm just
Yes.
happy that I don't feel the need to know, and I don't feel the need to manage those things.
Right.
Yet they are being managed. It's like, oh God, it's so good. Great girlfriends, it is absolutely never too late to start building something that you truly love. Or if you're a woman in business like me, maybe you're adding new tools to your toolkit and you really want to make sure you are successful at the things that you do. Or you may be a woman who's exploring a new passion and want to turn into something extremely profitable as a side hustle or your main hustle. That's why I personally love Skillshare. I found that the classes on Skillshare speak to me, speak to my needs, and speak to my passions. What I love about Skillshare is that they help you level up your skills with curated expert-led classes, and everything under the sun can be covered, from graphic design, which I absolutely hate, but we absolutely need, and hand lettering to web development, photography, and so much more. It's so cool that you can take classes that really speak to the things you love. I love Make Creativity Your Career, 6 exercises to create a successful side project by Andy J. Pizza. Speaks to me, speaks to things I love, and maybe it's something that you might like to try. Each Skillshare class is broken into bite-sized modules packed with actionable insights. You can level up your e-commerce chops, branding skills, social media savvy, and more with classes launched every single week. What's so cool about the classes is that literally it speaks specifically to all the little niche pieces that matter to your business and to your professional development. So if you're thinking of things like growing your social following, or you're trying to build a smart online presence, they have so many classes to really, really speak to you. One affordable yearly membership fee unlocks unlimited access to as many classes as you want. And you can keep learning on the go with the Skillshare app, which is super easy to use. Turn your passion into payday with Skillshare. Visit Skillshare.com/girlfriends today to get your first month free. That's Skillshare.com/girlfriends. So, Crystal, what is manifestation really? What exactly do you, by definition, what do you consider manifestation?
What I consider manifestation is the journey between where you are and what you are praying for and attempting to receive.
Okay.
I am constantly on a journey of manifestation. When I have accomplished that thing, it's like I've manifested it.
Got it. So, Instagram, we love the gram. However, I've been in some really good conversations about the abracadabra
post and the magic post
Speaking
and
into the universe, and it's just gonna fall in your lap.
the chants and all the things. And I'm a firm believer. I'm a Christian as well as you. I believe whatever you believe has possibility, right?
Absolutely.
However, my faith lands me in a final place, which differentiates between how I get to things versus other people who are non-Christian. So I don't judge your process, but I do believe that there are some key differentiators. And I'd love if you can kind of for the listener and for me and others, break down the difference between the sort of magic and abracadabra style of manifestation versus faith-based manifestation.
For me, I believe the biggest aspect to that is becoming the woman. There's this process of becoming her that cannot be skipped. Because God is never going to bless us with something that we're not prepared for. So as women are doing that hustle work, which I don't even believe in hustling. Like, I don't believe in working hard. I don't believe in 40-hour work weeks. Like, that's not my thing. But the reality is we have been, trained of this work hard identity, right? And me, more of the work should be internal. The alignment, the prayer life, the obedience, the heart posture. How do you treat people? How do you talk to people? What are your intentions? Why do you really want the abundance? Is it just the sun on Instagram? Or are you creating wealth, creating generational wealth and legacy? Is you being blessed going to be a blessing to somebody else? So it's a variety of different things, and being on this journey of becoming her, the woman who is willing to block her ear gates from gossip. She only wants to have positive vibes, have positive thoughts, think positive things, and speak positivity. Being able to have your posture in check. Some things I don't want no parts of because it brings my energy and my vibrations. Like, it's just really becoming the woman. And I think that's one big part of manifestation that women, miss out on, especially in a faith. That honestly should be at the forefront. Before we pray about the things, let me first become the woman.
Yeah. It's interesting because when I think about how we sort of move in our faith, I think a lot of times there's some unlearning around the communal aspects of faith versus your independent walk and what that looks like, and how that independent walk can really make the difference, can give you the leadership you need as a woman, the becoming process. And I feel like in that unlearning, there is this idea that hierarchy in relationship, that you need a leader in faith to speak or to pray something over you for you to be that, versus, wait a minute, Crystal, I see that face. Versus us really taking ownership, right? I want to hear your thoughts on that, because I see your face and your body and your shoulder and your neck and
I feel like every woman of faith has the power within to manifest what she desires.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I think sometimes religion and, we have this boxed in identity where we can't accomplish anything without the confirmation of another being.
Yes.
And that to me is unrealistic. Because if God has the power to speak through that person, God also has the power to speak through me. I don't necessarily believe that God is going to give anybody else revelation about my life that he can't give to me first. So
they're meant to confirm it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about confirmation for a minute. Why do we have to seek confirmation in order for us to do what God says and move in the direction that God says? And that's another thing that I began to honor probably about 10 years ago. Not having to have a confirmation. When God speaks to me about a thing, I'm not asking anybody else. I'm not asking for a confirmation. I am moving on that thing.
Well, then that's a second unlearning. That's so good. So we're talking about, we got to unlearn the idea that you need that person to speak things into you before you can trust what God has already put in on the inside. I think a second unlearning is the idea that validation comes from confirmation. Validation comes before confirmation. Confirmation is a high five of something you already know and believe, right? But we shouldn't. I think in the old model, you were not validated until someone else confirmed something that you kind of thought maybe God spoke, or you felt in your heart, or you felt a little sense of knowing. And the new model says that we are to accept and be validated by who we have already become, and embrace that before someone else steps in and says a word. Right? Yeah.
We have to begin to trust the power within.
Yes.
There's an anointing in all of us.
Yeah.
Whether, what your journey of faith and what your personal, journey or relationship with God looks like, there's power in anointing in all of us. And we have to begin to trust the spirit within. We have to begin to not seek confirmation. When God gives me something, I'm up. Like, I get my visions at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, me too. You should call me.
When God gives it to me, and when I wake up at 5, I'm in execution mode. I'm not asking anybody for permission. I'm not getting on the phone asking nobody to confirm. I am in execution mode.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm so there and in the clouds. When I'm flying on a plane, it's like heaven just pours into my head and my heart, and I'm like, oh my, let it be a long flight where I can see the clouds. Done. The world shifts. And it's so interesting that you say that. When I think about the becoming and trusting the intuition and learning how to really align in faith, there is, for me, you tell me how your process has looked in the past, but there are periods of isolation.
Oh, absolutely.
In times where it's just, because the funnel is flowing. And if something else pours into that funnel, it's going to really dilute the value of what you are hearing and downloading. And so what would you say to the woman who is afraid of isolation? When people won't even give themselves the time.
I would tell her it's necessary.
Yeah.
And not just isolation from the outside world, but isolation from the people directly in your household.
Absolutely.
There are moments when I'm shifting and elevating spiritually, where I have to take a step back, and my husband and daughter may have to go to dinner without me, or they may have to watch the football game up front without me, because I am in a focus zone where God is downloading in me, and I cannot afford any distractions.
That's right.
And so it's a very necessary process. It can be lonely in the beginning, but once you get in the habit of it, it becomes so easy to you.
Yeah. You actually look forward to it. Like, okay, I'm shutting off.
Yes. You get excited. Like, all right, elevation is here, everybody. Get ready.
Yes. Let's go. Gotta go. And I think it's so true, to go back to what we're talking about. Another thing that I think women can take and learn, which I feel is so important, is sometimes when we go back to the idea of confirmation and validation and the difference between those two, sometimes people, not just women, but people become so codependent on others that they don't trust themselves in the process. Mm-hmm. And so there are ways that people in your life you can be a champion in my heart. You can cheer me forward and you can charge me, but I don't have to be codependent. I don't have to rely on you or your presence to move my mountains or to even elevate my processes. So for you, how do you teach women to trust the process without the reliance on other people?
I really take them through this journey of, again, that journey of becoming her. It allows you the inner growth and personal development, not just, spiritually, but also interpersonally, like being able to really tap into your true identity. And when you get to that place, it becomes easier for you to trust yourself, because you'll do it and then you'll realize the aftermath, like, wow. And then what you're praying for will happen, or what you're asking for will, be known to you. You're like, wow, I really need to start trusting myself a lot more. And then you have to continue to grow and become, and, continue to trust your instincts and your discernment and really validate yourself. And once you get in the habit of doing it, it's like you become unstoppable at that point.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, that's good. So, Crystal, what are some of the things that you've been affirming in yourself lately?
Oh, honestly, I have been affirming that this journey is never ending. Like I am I'm in one of those spaces where honestly, if I can be transparent, everything that I've written down over the last 10 years has happened. So I found myself this year in this place of what's next for me. Like, the biggest thing was retiring my mom.
Wow,
I
awesome.
did that in March or April of this year. And I was like, okay, that was kind of like the last thing on my list for the past 10 years. Like, what do I do now? And so then you go to God and you think about those elevated desires and what's next for you, and you create a new list. Yeah. And you just keep going. There's no destination here. So you have to ask yourself, what are some of the other things that I desire to bring to life? What are some of the other ways that I desire to serve and transform? And you go and you create a new list.
I love it. I love it.
In the season of creating a new list.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting because things are fresh and we know that there are seasons to everything, and you're in a new season of manifestation.
Yes.
And I'm excited about what comes out of that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where can Great Girlfriends keep up with you and learn more about your programs?
At the Crystal Perkins on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. And what's up the pike for you right now?
Right now, I am focused on definitely Q4 and Q1, just really getting women right now in this mindset of not waiting until the next year to plan the next year. Like that's another part of manifestation. Like right now, you should be so clear right now about what you want for 2023. That you just enjoy the holidays with no stress. Like, because you already know you are in alignment and you know exactly what you want for the next year. So right now, I'm really trying to shift the momentum and the mindset of women not feeling like they have to wait on January 1 to plan, have the clarity for the next year. It starts right now.
Honestly, October is when I'm like, all right, what you got, God? I'm seeing, confirm it for me. But I this is where I think what I'm hearing. And October is always that time for me because January, I'm in March.
Right.
January, yeah.
It's like the fresh air of like the fall season and just being able to, it's just something in the air.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, like before it gets really, really cold, freezing cold. So actually, one of the biggest things that I'm planning for the end of this year, in addition to my coaching program, is I'm hosting a 2-day workshop in December to help women who are already in business map out their 6-figure strategy. If you want to make 6 figures next year, I'm literally giving you the blueprint. We're mapping it out. We're looking at what your offers are. I'm telling you how to position them, how to price them to help you reach your 6-figure year.
Nice. Oh, I'm excited about that.
I am
too. Thank you so much for being on today. And thank you for sharing your insights and your warm spirit. And no rap bars, but you did drop all kind of gems and candy bars and great wisdom for myself and other great girlfriends to move forward with their vision and learn how to manifest in healthy, whole ways from the inside out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. I love that. Thank you so much, Crystal, for being with me today.
And if I could leave one of my favorite quotes with you and your listeners, whenever you get to a place where you start to overthink your worthiness and just wonder if you, like you said earlier, like I see it happening for everybody else, but is it possible for me? One of the things that sticks with me and my clients all the time is you deserve what you desire. So if it's a desire within you, then you absolutely deserve it and you should go after it.
Yeah. That's it. I love it. I love that. Oh, I'm excited. It's so great to have you on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, great girlfriends. Did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast and the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group at The Great Girlfriends. Follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends and on Twitter at @the_great GFS. I'm Sibylla Muti and I'm out. Peace.